All right, all right, all right. Okay. It looks like my microphone's working this time. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw in the chat box. You should try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away, throw in the chat box, especially. Whereas, also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes or whatever, sometimes an hour, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away, throw in the chat box, right? Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, is the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one is called the Saquon. Second membership level I got is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean the world, absolute world to me. And I thank you so much in advance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then finally, also in the description box, below there's 2 Facebook links. The top Facebook link takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's a group, and I say this in every video. Basically, my YouTube channel, my Facebook group, my Facebook page, it's all called the same thing. Makes it nice and easy for a moron like me. We don't got to worry or remember what it's all called the same thing. And what do we? And we have 6,100, over 6,100 members in the group. It's doing very, very well. Usually every couple of days I'm going up like another 100 members. It's doing very well. But usually what happens is that now that once I get done going live, I'll spend probably like the next couple hours, like putting stuff in the group and in the Facebook page, which I'll go over in just a minute here. And now that the season is here, and the season is underway, unbelievably. I try to get like 15, 20 different things in the group every day, whether it's a post, a picture, something, just share an article, a video, maybe something showing some stats on a ball player, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, by the way, right? There's a boatload of stuff every day going in there. And not only that, but not only do I put stuff in there, but the members post stuff in here as well, too. Right. So between me and the members, there's at least 20 different things going in every day. And it's like basically if I'm alive and if I'm breathing, right, and if I have internet access, there's stuff going in the group and in the page every day, basically darn near almost 365. So you don't have to worry about any of that. There's always stuff going in there every day. And the second Facebook links take you to my Facebook page. And it's the same thing. Once I'm done going live here, I put stuff in the group and in the page, right? As I said, it's the same thing. I'm getting like 15, 20 things every day in the group. I'm getting 15 to 20 things every day going in the page. And I said, same thing, whether it's a post, a picture, share an article, a video, something showing some stats, maybe on a ball player, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, right? And I don't commingle the stuff. So basically the stuff that I put in the page, and I'll put in the group. Whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. I just try to keep them separate. So basically, darn near almost 365. There's a ton of New York Giants information every day between the page and the group, right? So if but you can't please everybody, right? So that's why I got my money back guarantee. If you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, if you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, with all that stuff said and done, out of the way. Well, we have the injury report just came out this week. Here we go. Of course, we got all kinds of stuff going on here. There's lots of stuff going on here. Where are we at here? Let's see. Now, a lot of it is also, I mean, for the Giants and the Cardinals as well, too. But, I mean, some of them, like Waller, I think he just had like a veteran day off today. Apparently he should be good to go and all this stuff and everything. Let's see here. Let's see. They both have some injuries. Yeah. The only integral player for the Cardinals is running back James Conner, who is limited due to a calf issue. Now, that could be a problem. Calves can be very tricky. And especially, say whatever. If he's got a forearm or something, if you can at least hold the ball and run, okay. But calf can be very tricky, very, very tricky. So that could maybe limit his snaps, or if he is running, could limit him the way he runs. So that could be very, very important. LJ Collier, let's see, he's also listed on the Cardinals here. Let's see. Now, of course, as usual, this is the third season I've been doing this, and I don't know if I've ever one time in the 3 seasons I've been doing this, I don't know if I've ever seen an injury report where the other team has more guys listed than the Giants. I don't know if I've ever seen that. And once again, same thing here. Simply, absolutely freaking amazing. Every game, every week, every game, the Giants have more people listed than the other team. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. The Cardinals have, what do we got? 1, 2, 5 guys. And once again, it doesn't mean these guys are out or not going to play or whatever, but they got 5. The Giants have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have twice as many. We have 10 guys. Now, the Cardinals, they got LJ Collier, a defensive lineman. He got biceps, right? He did not participate in practice on Wednesday. Josh Woods, a linebacker, he has an ankle. He did not participate on Wednesday. Kelvin Beachum, an offensive lineman, he has a hand, so he was limited. James Conner, interestingly enough, weird, because in the top of this article here, I'm going to try to make sure I read this again here. Yeah, the only integral player on his running back is James Conner, who is limited due to a calf issue. But down here it says the Arizona Cardinals, James Conner was limited with a hand issue. So I don't know. Not sure if it's a hand or a calf for James Conner, but he was limited. And then Fatu probably, their defensive line, he has it limited with a shoulder issue. So he was limited. So they got 5 guys. Of course, the Giants, not to be outdone, they got to have their own. They have 10. We'll show you, Arizona. Right? We got this. Right? You got 5. We're throwing 10 at you. How do you like that? How do you like us now? Right? Same thing with the Cowboys. The Cowboys had far fewer than the Giants had. Absolutely freaking amazing. But at least nobody's out. Right? At least not as of yet anyway. Andrew Thomas did not participate because of the hamstring. Darren Waller with a hamstring and a rest day. Dable was talking about in his when he was meeting the press, he said there was probably going to be like a Veterans Day off. Deontay Banks with a calf, he was limited. Cam Brown with an ankle, he was limited. Cordell Flott with a hamstring, he was limited. Graham Gano, his right ankle, he obviously on the field goal attempt he tried. Which got blocked. Now I wonder if that's reason why, just to add insult to injury, he injures ankle there. I can't remember if he got rolled up on or if he got stepped on. I don't remember, but that of course, so they had a blocked field goal. The Cowboys ran it back for a touchdown, right? Graham Gano got injured and Andrew Thomas got injured, all in one play. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely freaking amazing. Let's see. Azeez Ojulari. Oh, my freaking God. Unbelievable. He's got a hamstring. He was limited. Absolutely freaking amazing. The guy can't stay off the injured list. Absolutely amazing. Javarius Owens, he had a hamstring. I guess the hamstrings are starting to pop up now. Andrew Thomas got a hamstring. Darren Waller's got a hamstring. Cordell Flott's got a hamstring. Azeez Ojulari's got a hamstring. Javarius Owens got a hamstring. Absolutely amazing. It's just simply amazing because you go to the Cardinals don't have an injury problem. They have a hamstring. Nobody's got a hamstring problem. Only the Giants have hamstrings. Simply amazing. Matt Parrott with his elbow, got like hyperextended there. So apparently he should be okay. He was just limited. And Wan'Dale Robinson, they're just trying to, I guess, ease him back in. He was limited with obviously his knee coming back. So you're not sure exactly when they're going to, let him rock and roll all full force or not. But they're just easing him back in. But the hamstrings are back. Oh yeah, out in force. Giants got 5 guys with hamstring problems. Absolutely freaking amazing. It said Andrew Thomas will not practice on Wednesday per Giants head Brian Daboll. That could be first indication that the star left tackle dealing with a hamstring issue suffered Sunday against the Cowboys might not be available for week 2 against the Arizona Cardinals. Daboll referred to Thomas as day to day. Daboll also said that the veteran tight end Darren Waller would get a veteran day rest. That is likely to happen once a week. He was saying that as Waller manages his hamstring. Freaking unbelievable. In which there is apparently a nerve issue. So that's obviously not a problem, but meaning kind of tricky. So I mean, you can kind of do this and do that and all of that, but it can pop back up again. So he said Daboll indicated everyone else would practice, which is cool. That's great. But, I see a lot of them were just limited. That would mean that backup tackle Matt Parrott, who also left Sunday's game against Dallas with an injury, was not seriously hurt, thankfully, because he's like a walking injury, too. That guy can't stay healthy either. If Thomas can't play, either Parrott or Joshua Zudu would have to fill in. Now, I would like to say, honestly, I like to see Zudu over there. And we'll have Parrott as the backup, as the swing tackle. I would like to get a Zudu in there. Get that guy in there. Get him some reps. Let's see what he can do. He graded out pretty well and just graded out by PFF. In the 14 or 15 snaps he had against Dallas, he graded out pretty well. So I'd love to see him in there. Let's put a Zudu at tackle because he played tackle. He played left and right tackle in college. Put him out there. And I said, then we got Bredesen at the left guard, Michael Schmitz, obviously at the center. You got Turnstile Glowinski at the right guard. And then you got, obviously, Evan Neal at the right tackle. I mean, man, Glowinski. Daboll also said that place kicker Graham Gano, who has an ankle injury after being cleated in the kicking leg on Sunday's blocked field goal, would be limited. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, hopefully he'll be okay to kick. I mean, I was kind of wondering if that's why he missed his field goal. It wasn't a very long field goal. Is that why he is that why he missed it? I mean, I understand, bad weather and all that stuff and everything. So I get that, but I mean, that was kind of a short field goal. So what was he hampered on his field goal because of his injury when he got cleated. Be interesting to see. So, but once again, the Giants have thankfully, it's a little. Once again, as always, the Giants got a little lengthy, injury list, but nobody's listed as out. I mean, it's like, I don't know, did the Cowboys lose anybody there? I mean, was it just Giant guys being hauled off the field injured? I mean, did anybody on the other team get injured at all? Or is it just the Giants? I mean, man. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see here. Then we got Oruwariye got carted off after practice, leaves the facility in an ambulance. So hopefully, wasn't apparently, at least thankfully, wasn't paralyzed. But I have to, obviously keep up on this story. It says it's not uncommon to hear of players being carted off of a practice during training camp, but it is unusual during the regular season. So it is notable to see reports of Giants cornerback Amani Oruwariye injury on Wednesday. Reporters at the team's facility noted that Oruwariye went down during a special teams drill and was carted off after being loaded onto a backboard. Oruwariye was then loaded into an ambulance and presumably went to a local hospital for further evaluation. Oruwariye is on the practice squad, so there will not be word of his injury on Wednesday's practice report. The team could offer an independent update on his condition at some point, however. Oruwariye signed a one-year deal with the Giants in the offseason. Let's see. So, I mean, I did read, that when he was being taken off, apparently, whatever they wind up seeing. Let's see here. Anybody in here taking? Oh, good. Here we go. Oh, all right. Here we go. I got this from the Daily News, if I can read this here. Giants cornerback Amani Oruwariye taken to the local hospital, cleared. After neck injury. And this is from let's see here. This is from the Daily News. So at least that's good. Let's see. Is there anything else on him? Let's see now. Giants promising, hard to freaking believe. Giants promising edge rusher pops up on the injury report, but Amani Oruwariye dodges a bullet, so that's good. Giants faced an unsettling reality check this Wednesday afternoon. Their injury report looked more like a VIP list featuring some key players who were crucial to their success this season. Absolutely freaking amazing. Hamstring troubles. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Get your hamstring here. Let's see. It says the lengthy list of the Giants' limited participants. There was 10 of them altogether. But the quiet giant, Azeez Ojulari. Ojulari's name's popping up on the injury report isn't precisely a bombshell. Nope. Considering his first 2 years in the league, it almost feels like par for the course. Yep. You got an injury report for the Giants? Ojulari's on there. Yep. But let's not forget, the Giants have pinned their hopes on him because of a formidable force off the edge. Ojulari saw limited action against the Cowboys, playing just 32 snaps, mostly because the Cowboys leaned heavily on their run game, rendering the Giants utterly hapless. His contribution was therefore pretty mute. However, to ignore Ojulari's past performance would be foolish. He generated an impressive 20 pressures and bagged 6 sacks over a mere 252 snaps last season. I think it was 5.5 sacks, but whatever. Although he started just 7 games, his near sack per game average can't be brushed aside. Nope, absolutely not. Still, his muscle mass didn't seem to do much to seal the edge against Dallas, who trampled the Giants with over 120 yards on the ground. The Giants are pinning their hopes on Ojulari being fit and ready for their face-off against Arizona. They're desperate to register a win and shake off the disastrous curtain raiser against the Cowboys. A frightening moment for Amani Oruwariye. Let's see here. In other concerning news, reserve defensive back Amani Oruwariye took a scary tumble during a special teams drill and had to be carted off the field following a neck injury. The Giants rushed him to the hospital. Fortunately, thank goodness, after undergoing tests, he was cleared to return to team facilities. Good. Fantastic. Never want to see anybody get injured. It appears that the seasoned defensive back will sidestep a significant injury, thankfully. Nonetheless, the Giants will be keeping a close eye on him in the coming days to determine the length of his rehabilitation. Thankfully, the worst appears to be behind him. So, thankfully, good. Now, you don't know exactly maybe all what happened and everything, but at least he, dodged a major bullet. Thankfully. Oh, man. I don't know. All right, then we got the unofficial depth chart for the Giants. Now, basically seemed a lot like it was kind of like last week. Got Hodgins with Hyatt at one Hyatt's the backup at one receiver. Paris Campbell and then Wan'Dale Robinson is the backup at, I guess, the slot receiver. Other wide receiver, you got Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard is behind Slayton. Evan Neal is the right tackle. Matt Peart is his backup, and Marcus McKeithen is the third string right tackle. Mark Lewinsky is the right guard. Joshua Ezeudu is listed as the backup right guard. John Michael Schmitz is the center, and Shane Lemieux is the backup center. Ben Bredesen is the left guard, and Shane Lemieux is the backup left guard. So Shane Lemieux is the backup at the center and the left guard. And then Andrew Thomas is obviously the left tackle. And Matt Peart is basically the swing tackle. He's the backup at the left tackle. So it's kind of interesting because they got Shane Lemieux at the backup left guard and a center. So I'm kind of wondering, like, say if John Michael Schmitz were to get injured, right, would they slide Shane Lemieux in there at center and keep Bredesen at left guard, or would they maybe slide Bredesen over, and put him in center and slide Shane Lemieux in at left guard? Obviously, running backs, we got the Killer Bees. We got Barkley, Breida, and Brightwell, and then Eric Gray. Then, of course, tight ends, we got Darren Wall and Daniel Bellinger and Lawrence Cager. And quarterbacks, we got Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor. All right, so then we got the defense. Let's see here. We got Dexter Lawrence, Nunez Roches, and Jordan Riley. And then we got Leonard Williams. Behind him is Ashawn and DJ Davidson. And then we got the defensive ends. Here they got it. One's a defensive end and one's a rush. Azeez Ojulari is the defensive end. Kayvon Thibodeau is the rush. So they got Azeez Ojulari and they got Jihad Ward. And behind Kayvon, they got Boogie Basham. Middle linebacker, Bobby Okereke, and Carter Coughlin's behind him. And then we got the other, basically, they have the weak side linebacker. But whatever, we got Micah McFadden, Isaiah Simmons is behind him. And they got Cam Brown is the third string will linebacker. Then we got the cornerbacks. We got Trey Hawkins and Nick McLeod as his backup. Deontay Banks and Cordell Flott as his backup in the nickel. I got Adoree Jackson, Darnay Holmes, and Nick McLeod. So Nick McLeod is the backup, or he's the third string backup for the slot, and he's the backup left cornerback. And the strong safety, we got Jason Pinnock with Dayton Belton being his backup, and Bobby McCain being the third string strong safety, and in free safety, Xavier McKinney and Javarius Owens. And of course, they got obviously Casey Kreider, that Scottish Hammer, and Graham Gano, and they got Eric Gray listed here as the punt returner and the kickoff returner. So, all right, so that's the unofficial depth chart. Now, it's pretty much very similar to what it was last week. Pretty much, really nothing really much has changed at all. Then we got one interesting thing here, right? We got an interesting thing here. This is on SI from Fan Nation. Very interesting. How Giants coaches can help the offensive line. And there certainly are some ways, without question, that they can certainly help the offensive line. Instead of, keeping them out there, putting them all on an island, 5 guys to block 4. And, obviously the Cardinals, their defensive front is not anywhere near quite as spectacular as the Dallas Cowboys were. Quite possibly the Dallas Cowboys defensive front could possibly be the best in football, right? So it's not a great way to start the season. So it says here, it's only the second week of the 2023 NFL season, but what a horrible first week for the Giants, who the Dallas Cowboys manhandled to the tune of 40-0 on Sunday Night Football. The game, played in sloppy, wet conditions, was marred by errors made by the Giants that spotted the Cowboys free points. There you go, Cowboys, have some points. But even that sloppiness couldn't hide the biggest ongoing issue and one we identified as a cause for pause in our Giants season preview, the play of the offensive line. For the 17,482nd straight season, we have issues with the offensive line. Absolutely freaking amazing. The Giants' offensive line was responsible for 25 of the team's 27 quarterback pressures against the Cowboys on Sunday, with the right side, the turnstile side, guard Mark Lewinsky and tackle right Evan Neal accounting for 17 of those pressures. The two guys gave up 17 pressures. God, it's just absolutely amazing. And we have some decent guys on our front, obviously, and we couldn't even get a sack. It's just simply amazing, absolutely amazing. So after a game like Sunday night, every area we've got to draw our attention to, head coach Brian Daboll said when asked about the unit. But that's what we've got to do as a coaching staff. That's what we've got to do as players. We've got to improve in, I'd say, a number of areas and try to take the next step the upcoming week. Daboll has never been one to make a knee-jerk reaction as far as personnel decisions go. So in all honesty, those clamoring for a trade or a new offensive lineman to be added might want to stop and consider that if there was a better option out there, chances are he would have been added to the team already. Now, I mean, especially like right now, I mean, you know, there's so many, there are guys out there. There's certainly guys out there, but I mean, honestly, I mean, if Shane really thought that, you know, somebody can, they would at least bring him in, you know, and he's not bringing anybody in. I mean, he brought in a couple wide receivers, basically to play special teams, and nothing panned out. I mean, he brought two wide receivers in. I don't know why. I mean, we got quite a few wide receivers. I guess I don't know. I guess maybe Wandale's a little danged up. I'm not sure, but but they brought wide receivers in. But unfortunately, like tackles, they just don't fall off of trees. There's only so many of them out there, and a lot of them obviously are taken up, and there's just not that many of them out there that are good that could probably help. Unfortunately. Let's see. The Giants reportedly put in a waiver claim for an offensive lineman after the final training camp roster moves were announced, but with them being so low in the order, they didn't get who they wanted. I mean, that's the one problem. The big time. I mean, that's one of the things is when you're good, right? Your waiver wire claim is low. Your draft order, is you're in the 20s, right? So, but that's what comes when you're good. Says the Giants offensive line, remember, didn't get many snaps together in the preseason, where the speed of the game just cannot be replicated in practice. No, but I've said this I don't know how many times. There's no right answer to this, because if you put your guys in there, for quite a few drives, and one of them gets injured, these people writing these articles, the first thing you know, what's wrong with you? What are you, stupid? You got your starting offensive line. It's a preseason game. What's wrong? We got hurt. What are you, stupid? Of course, that's the first thing they'd say. But then, of course, if they don't play them, to maybe try to keep them safe, or maybe because there's only 3 preseason games now. There's not 6 the way it was back in the 70s. You're trying to see who's going to make the team. That's why you give the guys trying to make the team as many snaps as possible, right? So then, of course, and when they don't have the starting offensive lineman in the preseason and they struggle a little bit early on, of course, the first thing these writers do is, well, why don't you play them more in the preseason? season. What's wrong with you? You know, I mean, it's simply amazing, absolutely amazing. I mean, how there's like no right answer. Like whatever you do is wrong. You know, whatever you do is wrong. It's simply amazing. Let's see here. While some might point to that as an issue, the fact is that some of the problems with the individual performances of Glowinski and Neal have carried over from last year. In Glowinski's case, he struggled to hold up in one-on-one matchups, frequently losing contact with his man. That's not good. His run blocking wasn't much better as he looked slow coming out of the snap. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of hoping we let him go after this season. He's got a little dead cap money next year if we let him go. But I mean, I can't see how well, once again, it's only the first game. Hopefully he gets better. You know, as time goes by. But he was a liability on Sunday night. The Giants only mustered 45 yards on the ground on 9 carries going right, which, I mean, was, 9. That was 45. That's like 5 yards a carry. So I'm not exactly sure what, but they only ran it, I guess maybe 9 times is what they're talking about here. I don't know, but you run the ball 9 times for 45 yards. That's 5 yards a carry. So that's not too bad. But Neal, he picked up where he left off last year. Where he left last year. And that's not a good thing. At times this summer, he looked like he was trying to get comfortable in his stance. And in week 1, he looked top heavy, heavy-footed, and not very flexible. At times, he looked like he was moving just a split second before the ball snapped, yet he was still being beaten, which is obviously not very good. So what choices do the Giants have to fix the unit, barring make a trade, which is unlikely to happen, or biting the bullet and bringing in someone from the outside? They can max protect, send 3 guys out, keep 7 guys in. The obvious answer is to keep a back or tight end and help with the blocking, whether it's full-on blocking or simply throwing a chip. The benefit is that it allows them to counter against some of the best pass rushers coming up. Hello, San Francisco. Don't forget about that. But putting in an extra man to slow down the rush, that's something to consider when you're game planning. Dable said, the more guys you are in, the fewer guys you have out. So that's just a matter of mathematics there. The more guys you keep in to protect Daniel Jones, the less guys you got out in the route. So the more coverage so the fewer guys you have out, the more coverage they play. So I think it's a balance between whether you're helping on a chip, getting 5 guys out, using a run action, getting the run game going a little bit. I think it's everything, it all works together. While max protection is not something that a team should do on every down, if the quarterback is going to be running for his life anyway against better pass rushing units on obvious passing down, what's one less receiver option down the field if it means giving Jones with an extra split second or 2 to scan the field, set his feet, and throw to one of the speedsters? The Giants got him. They can rely more on the running game. When a team falls into a hole, unfortunately, the natural leaning more on the passing game. Hey, we're down. We got to start passing the ball. It's like, down 16-0 in the first quarter, but that's 2 scores, and it's the first quarter. So we have to start. Hey, we got to start passing the ball. Let's start passing the ball. Let's see here. A strong case can be made that the Giants gave up way too soon on the running game in an attempt to get something going. The Giants averaged 3.9 yards per attempt on the ground versus 1.7 yards via the pass. 1.7 yards per play via the pass. 1.7. Freaking absolutely pathetic. In the first quarter, they ran the ball on 12 of the 17 plays, ending the quarter down 16-0. But rather than stay with the run, the rushing attempts faded away, as so did the Giants' chance of winning. New York ran 46 more plays the rest of the game, but only ran in 13 more times, including 9 times in the second half once they were down 26-0. The Giants were looking for a spark. Why not stay with the run at that point to try to chip away and maybe try to slow down the pass rush? Right? And nothing slows down the pass rush more than a good run. Also, the one thing is that, see if the run starts gelling, see there's something else they could, do, which, I don't know if they would try or consider or whatever, but is when they like, then they go back in the huddle and they substitute and all that. The Cowboys can substitute. So there's times when the Cowboys, like, some of their offense or the defensive line get a little tired. They send those guys out and they bring in some fresh units, right? So now the fresh units come in are pretty good, but they're fresh, right? So you're going up a little exhausted offensive line, right, who can't block anybody, and then they're bringing in some fresh units, which makes it even worse. But as I said, I don't know if there's something they'd ever consider, whatever. If they can get the running game going, right, why not go no huddle, right? That way nobody's substituting. Your guys are on the field, their guys are on the field, and it's more exhausting for a defensive player to play defense than it is for an offensive player. That's why they might rotate the defensive lineman in there. They're getting a little winded, getting a little tired. Well, if you keep them out there, right? If you can keep them out there, they're only going to get more and more tired. And if you get a nice long drive going down the field, they get more and more winded. So let's see. They also have here the offensive line shakeup. The obviously most extreme step the Giants can take is to shake up the offensive line, but don't expect the Giants to do that just yet unless prompted to by injury. I mean, once again, this is just the first game of the season. But you notice that the offensive line is, I don't want to say fixed, but it's still a work in progress. Hopefully as the weeks go by, two things happen. Hopefully as the weeks go by, one, we stay healthy, unlike Sunday night. And two, hopefully, they start gelling together, working together, and hopefully maybe slowly they can get better. Because, I mean, if they don't slowly get better, or if they don't get better, it could be a long season. Then it could be like, I'm not going to say it's a Ben McAdoo season where one year we're 11-5 and go to the playoffs, and the next season we're 3-13 and the GM gets fired and the coach. I'm not saying it's going to be that bad, but could be could be one season we got we're in the playoffs, next season we're out. So, and possibly a losing season. A losing record. What you do is you kind of evaluate the whole body of work, and also obviously the first game Dable said when asked when he might start thinking about any changes. You don't sit and just wait around if you think you need to do something. We have those discussions. We'll probably have them all the way up till Friday night, which is why it's an important week of practice for some of these younger guys. One guy to keep an eye on is second-year man Joshua Ezeudu. Since coming to the Giants as a third-round draft pick last year, the thought has been for Ezeudu to step in and play left guard. But when he could not beat out Ben Bredeson, the Giants coaches took Ezeudu back to his college days when he played tackle. At North Carolina, Ezeudu, Pro Football Focus, played 124 snaps at right tackle during the 2020 season. The following year, he played 275 snaps at left tackle. He's been practicing there for a while. Oh, let's see. I'll be right back. My my battery on my computer. It's funny because when my battery on my computer, the screen goes like it goes kind of goes dark. Let you know, dude, plug your computer in. Oh, boy. All right. Let's see. So as far as with the Ezeudu, he's been practicing there for a while. Dable said later, clarifying that it has been the last couple of weeks where the team switched into a in-season practice mode, thus limiting reporters from viewing the entire practice. We practice him, we move guys around, and he's certainly an option at that left tackle spot. So this might be something for down the road, but if Ezeudu continues to hold his own at tackle, Evan Neal struggles at right tackle, and Glowinski struggles at right guard, might a future lineup of Ezeudu at right tackle and Neal at right guard be in the cards? Possibly. I mean, because also, I mean, like, Patty Traynor is like, she keeps harping on this point, over and over and over, get your guys set, Get your starting five set. Why are you putting so-and-so in there and so-and-so in there? Why get your five guys set, okay, and just ride it out. You know what I mean? And because she keeps talking about, like, sometimes she'll see like a Zudu playing left guard, and then Bredesen maybe, not getting the starting snaps or something like that. And she's like, well, what are you doing? Why are you not? Get your starting five and just roll. I mean, this is why. Once again, I mean, the reporters, they always seem to have to have something to argue about or complain about. I mean, this is why. They rotate guys in and out because, hey, if something goes wrong, if somebody gets injured, you want to have a guy in there who's took some snaps in there. I mean, you don't want to have the starting five in there and everybody, this is why you want to put a Zudu in there next to Andrew Thomas. You want to put a Zudu in there next to John Michael Schmitz. You maybe put a Zudu, I don't know, whatever, at right guard. So he's standing next to Evan Neal, at least getting a little feel for each other. Right. So if something goes wrong, which it does, you've had these guys exposed to the other players on there, so there's at least a little familiarity. Right. I mean, it's not like back in 2007 when we had Seibert and Deal and O'Hara, Snee, and McKenzie played like 7,000 games in a row with one another. Nobody ever got injured. I mean, it's not, it's not like that. Let's see. Do nothing. Dable showed last year that he wasn't afraid to make a change after 1 week, swapping out receivers Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney with other options. After the first two developed attitude issues. Yeah. The likelihood of that being the case with the offensive line is slim. However, as it could simply be a matter of letting a unit that did not have a lot of reps together in game situations get comfortable with one another. Absolutely. You always want to have more reps, Glowinski said when asked if he felt the unit got enough working together. I think you also have to be ready if it's even a walkthrough, making sure they make the most of those reps. Even the ones you're not in, putting yourself in a position where you're watching the film to be in those spots, as well as just making sure you're in the right position to succeed. The problem with doing nothing and letting the line gel is that it may have to do so this coming weekend without Andrew Thomas, who is dealing with a hamstring and who just so happens to be their best offensive lineman. I mean, so it says so. That said, this will probably be the coach's main course of action or non-action this week. So I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, this is a tough, game here. I'm not saying it's going to be, meaning the Giants have some, tough games coming up, and this is a tough division. I mean, don't underestimate the Commanders. I mean, the Commanders tied us last year, and they came within a whiskers of tying us last season for the other game and sending it in overtime. So, I mean, without question, I mean, don't underestimate the Commanders. But I mean, the problem, obviously in this division is, of course, the Cowboys, as we saw. Hey, newsflash, Cowboys are pretty good, right? And then, of course, in the Eagles, right? They're going to be, they'll be there, right? So, don't underestimate the Eagles either, obviously. But of course, then the problem, right, is if the Giants can't beat those two teams on top, I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult to make the playoffs. But if you start off, if you lose this game here, right, and you go 0-2, now you got a short week. You're playing San Francisco. Not saying you're guaranteed. Obviously, that's why they play the games. You're not obviously guaranteed to lose against the 49ers. However, it's not looking very good. So if they start off 0-3, and then they got the Bills coming up, they got the Dolphins coming up, they got the Seahawks coming. I mean, how many games can the Giants afford to lose, especially right off the bat, and try to actually make the playoffs this year? So, I mean, it's a very important game for the Giants. I mean, if they start off 1-2, okay. you know, I mean, obviously you don't want that, but if they start off 0-3. I mean, once again, not saying the season's over with or nothing, but you start. I mean, I forgot what the percentage is, but I mean, if you start off 0-2, you got a 40% chance of making the playoffs or whatever the statistics are. If you start off 0-3, the chances of you making the playoffs go down like 10% or 9% or something like that. It's not easy. And it makes it even worse when you have two really good teams on top of you, because either the Eagles are going to win a division and the Cowboys will be in second, or the Cowboys will win a division and the Eagles will be in second. So you got two teams right there in the same division that boom, they those are two playoff spots right there, gone. Right. So now you got to try to hope and pray, right, that you can become a wild card team and you're better than, I mean, if the Giants go like, say, 8-9 or 9-8, I mean, it's going to be tough to make the playoffs with that record. So this game coming up here against the Cardinals is, you don't want to say a must game, but darn close to being as must game as you can possibly have early in the season. Because if they can't beat the Cardinals, who are they going to beat? So if they do have Andrew Thomas take a week off or two or whatever case might want to be, I hope they got a good game plan. I know I think the Cardinals, let's see here. They sacked the. Let's see here, Cardinals. They sacked the that's the baseball Cardinals. There we go. I think it was quite a few times. I think they sacked them 6. Game center. Is it going to show some stats here? Scoring summary box score. Here we go. Let's see if it shows it here. All right. Nope. Roster depth chart, box score, summary. Nope. Game center. Doesn't look like it. But anyway, I know that they sacked the quarterback quite a few times. And so, so they're not going to be, it's not going to be, obviously it's never going to be a walk through the park. Their quarterback does not have a lot of experience. I think he's going to be making his 4th start overall. Does not have a lot of experience. The game plan they had last week for the Cardinals was kind of manage the game, the quarterback not to lose the game. Now he threw the ball quite. He did not have his yards per pass were not very high at all. Basically, he didn't have any touchdown passes. He didn't have any interceptions. I think he fumbled the ball a couple of times, maybe when he got hit or got sacked, but he didn't throw any interceptions. But the game plan was to keep him out of harm's way, right? So he does not try to lose the game for them, all right? So, I mean, hopefully they don't score a lot of points. Hopefully. But, the guys got to get their act together. It's going to be, it's going to be a fun game, obviously, but it's a very, very big game for the Giants, because they lose here and they lose 4 days later. So the 49ers, and they start off 0-3. Wow. Wow. But I think they'll go in there. I think they were embarrassed enough from the Cowboys game, and I think they'll go in play the Cardinals. I think they'll take care of business on the Cardinals on Sunday. But so that much pretty wraps it up here. 49 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me at all, thank you. If anybody spends any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.